Hi, I'm Matt for Rogue Tactics, and here's another one of my episodes called Meta Maybe. Because I am definitely more of a casual player. I'm definitely not competitive. But I do like to listen to and watch all the meta YouTube channels and listen to the meta podcast. So like I'm constantly like thinking about it, and there's stuff, that just goes in my head, and I like to make teams at least mentally on paper that sound kind of meta. Every once in a while I can convince my friend Joe to practice against me. I can play him out and then see that, what was going on in my head doesn't quite work out in the real world. But, that's what playtesting is for, and that's why all the good shows say to playtest, playtest, playtest. But, that's what I want to do. So, a lot of the teams I've been making in my head have just been because of the whole Highfather change. And I was like, I had all these great ideas, and I couldn't wait to try them out until I heard the Quarry, and this week's Quarry, where someone had made a Highfather team and then put Nebula on it. And Nebula says you can't carry. So all of the Highfather counters have just been like kapoof, gone, like up in smokes, because nothing can be carried. So you ain't getting out of that. So to combat Highfather, I wanted a character that was high enough points in value, but still not totally useless. I wanted my highest point character to be a good support piece, and then build like an army around that. So I turned to the 90-point John Constantine from Trinity War. He's got stealth, he's got the either outwit or perplex, and he's got TK, and then he's got double prop. So I'm like, right away, he's freaking awesome. And I'm not just saying this as a fanboy, I think he's pretty cool. He's got Mystic Stim ability, so if they start smacking him around, they're gonna feel it. And he's got a short dial though, so like a good smack around is gonna mess him up pretty good. But I was like, okay, go ahead, Highfather, packed my bro away, and I'm still gonna TK him, I'm still gonna prob him, because I wasn't even gonna attack with him to begin with. So of course I needed good attacking figures, since my highest point figure was not an attacker. So I got the 85 point version of Batman, who is sick. Yeah, I'll take my ability to pick crazy powers. Charge, close combat expert, perplex and outwit, and then, maybe prob every once in a while. That's a lot of greatness right there. And he's sick. You start with an 11, 10, 10, 11 with Pulse Wave. So it's like, he's got really good attack values for his points, and he's actually my secondary attacker, and he's the second most points on my team. But my primary attacker is going to be Captain Marvel Prime. He's sick. He's been tearing up the meta. He's got the, running shot, psychic blast, energy explosion power that stops you from attacking the next turn. That's pretty cool. And then I guess what his biggest thing is that defend with an 18 that pluses up your defense. So right now my Batman's rocking a 17, but next to Captain Marvel, he's a 19, and with combat reflexes. So hopefully he's up when you're growing. You're like, yeah, can you punch a 21? I hope I'm not if I'm not tokened up, it's going to be get to do it twice. So there's a coolness right there. And so these are my primary attackers these are my primary attackers, and they're gonna ideally shoot you in the face. I had points left over, and now of course I'm running the Green Lantern battery. I think it's pretty much going to be a given. So much of the game depends on free actions, and limiting your opponent's free actions through the emotional spectrum of the battery is, you have to do it. It's like a tactical nuke. If you don't bring it, you have to bring it because your opponent's bringing it. You have to be able to counter. I haven't even considered any of the other Lantern batteries, and you have to go green. I think we're going to see green just tear up the meta in the tactics scene. What constructs I'm going to be using? Of course, the sniper rifle. Ooh, thank you, Gravity Feed, for making this available to everybody. We want to stick this on Captain Marvel and have him do his energy explosion I'm going to stop you from attack from farther away. The wall, which is pretty much another gimme in meta. Yeah, I'll put up 2 blocking terrains. Go ahead and hopefully jack up your ability to retaliate against me after taking a shot. The nurse. The nurse is on there, very, very specific reason. My team is very vulnerable to copycat. And, this is a decoy. The nurse! My team is very vulnerable to copycat, and, you know, she replaces one of my characters. I'm assuming it's going to be Batman, but it might be Captain Marvel. I can't imagine them taking John Constantine, but anyway, that's in the realm of possibilities. Leaving my other 2 Ds on the field. So, my first turn is that I will power action from the battery, put the nurse on the adjacent character next to Copycat, use a free action from Copycat to copy regen with a Copycat, so that causes her to switch back to my opponent's control, and then whatever beat stick that I have left over is going to take a shot at her and try to punch her in the face. Of course, my guy is vulnerable because he'll be right there in my opponent's starting area, but unless they took John Constantine, I'm going to be ahead on points. So if I just hide the rest of the game, which is really cowardly and not my play style, but if they're going to be playing Copycat, I'm going to be a jerk as well. So I can just like run in the quarter, wall myself up, and just like wait it out, and be like, well, you lost over 5 or 8 points. I mean, sorry. I know that's not going to stop good players. Good players are going to track me down and kill me. As I hinted, I was using the decoy, but I might drop it in favor of the stoplight. I mean, the stoplight. Yeah, the spotlight. I keep getting the stop sign and the spotlight mixed up in speaking speaks. Just to help me get through stealth. If anything, I could like put it on my sideboard, and then when the battery lets me swap stuff in, swap that in if I'm not seeing. But I'll probably, just based on the flavor of the tournament, the hypothetical tournament that I'm never going to make it to. The hypothetical tournament, just depending on the flavor, put that spotlight in instead of the decoy, and then maybe if I need to late game, add the decoy and swap that onto my team. So that's basically how my team's supposed to work. I'm going to run up with Batman and Captain Marvel and take shots at people while John Constantine's in the background. Most likely perplexing, but double probbing, just to make sure my attacks stick. With Batman's ability to pick powers, I'm hoping to, double tap Kyle, precision strike with Batman, blast him, and then run in with Captain Marvel with the sniper rifle from farther away, and then hopefully blast him past his stop click. Blast him past his god click. Or I could do that in reverse. Blast him first with Captain Marvel so he can't, attack me next turn, and then you gotta double tap Kyle. There's just no getting around it. Luckily he wants to get in your grill, and you can just blast him in the face. So that is the team that I am in my brain. If I could go to a tournament this weekend, I would totally run. Well, not this weekend because it's not Tactics legal yet. But if I could go to a tournament in 2 weeks in April, when April's around, if I could go to a tournament then, I'd be running this team. So please tell me what you think about this team in your comments below, or any plans out there for how you're going to deal with Kyle, or deal with Highfather, or deal with Copycat, because, man, Copycat scares me. Thank you for watching. This has been Matt with Heroic Tactics.